right, guys, we got a little surprise in the trailer. What could it be?
Hey guys, Barry at CTech-review. Today, we're gonna do a whole new series bringing to the channel. We've been doing this for a long time, but now we decided let's start including this in the channel. This is about off-road and product reviews and fun stuff. We're gonna put a whole new series together around off-roading and side-by-sides. Let's get into this. Okay, first thing I want to talk about, look how squatted this RHO is right now. We don't have the airbags installed right now because we just did a dune trip recently. More to come on this, and the truck has the airbags off. So this just goes to show you the value of running those Timber Grove springs. I want to show you weight-wise what we got in here. Got some toys, and we got our Defender in here right now, and we're dropping it off the dealership to pick something else up. We're just going to reset this tank too, so just who cares. We got the trailer connected, but we're towing at a completely different speed, and I'm really curious to see how this thing does at 50 to 60 mile an hour towing. 7th gear, 2,000, 1,800 RPMs, no problem right now. It'll be kind of interesting to see versus our normal towing at, you know, a little higher rate of speed. So, all right, here's the old trusty Can-Am Defender. So this thing we bought brand new, and it's been a great unit. We put the full cab on it. I put heat on this thing. We've got a KFI plow setup. I'm gonna do KFI again. This thing's been great. I don't need anything fancy. I don't need like the air conditioning and stuff like that. I just wanted something I could enclose to keep the snow off us when we're moving snow in the wintertime. We've had no issues, but we want an extra seat, and I'd like to get something a little sportier. And so we thought about going with the 4-seat or 6-seat Can-Am Defender, but the problem with the Can-Am Defender is when I wanted to get one the way I wanted, and now I wanted kind of to do a cab and all that jazz, dude, it's super expensive. And you end up with something like this, which this thing is a unit and it's super awesome, but something like this thing is like 45, 50 grand. I just really didn't want to spend that kind of money. Instead, this is a whole new model, and this is going to be fun to talk about on the channel because we haven't done a lot of side-by-side content, and I'm excited to bring you guys this, especially this machine right here. And here's what I mean. There's not a lot of information on YouTube on the 2025 Can-Am Maverick X3 RS. This is still the 200 horsepower, but they kind of have a new variant for this for 2025, and here's what I mean. So it's still 200 horsepower. It's still the 72-inch wide front end. It's still got the LED headlights, but you're missing a few basic features. You don't have the signature LED lights. You don't have Fox suspension. You have a Showa suspension. I'm not worried about that because this is still a Kashima coated shock. And if you follow any motocross or dirt bike enduro, Showa suspension is really good stuff. It's not like you're downgrading versus a Fox shock. It's still a 2.5-inch reservoir. You still have a high speed and low speed compression. I don't know if you have a rebound adjustment. I have to look, but that has the same amount of adjustment as the Fox shock. I didn't need the smart shocks. That's cool. Is this as utility as this? It's absolutely not, but it's also a great value. I can still put a cab enclosure on this thing. I can still put heat in here. And now we can do more fun stuff off-road than a utility-based machine. And I'm still gonna put a KFI plow on this thing. So it'll be interesting to see how this thing does. The bummer side is we are losing the back of the bed. It's substantially smaller, no big deal. We can have a little UTV trailer on this. But what's fun is you guys are gonna see the journey. We've got a whole slurry of upgrades from some companies that we're gonna be putting on this thing in the next few days. It's gonna look a lot different. Give a shout out to the guys at D's Marine. These guys are great guys, and I've been really impressed. First time we bought a unit from these guys, but been really happy so far with the service we got, and they're helping us on our other unit as well. But man, we are so excited to get this thing off road. I mean, just look at the ground clearance, and this is on the 30s, so I can't even imagine what the 32s are gonna be like. See the first startup here. Nice and quiet. Curious to see what the tongue weight setup is going to be now, because side by side being a little longer, I couldn't put as much up front, but it's still sagging a little bit, but it's not as bad as what we had coming here. So here we go. What is that, about 500 pounds or so? So definitely a lot lower. Definitely less tongue weight, so that's good. There we go, 10 miles per gallon, not too bad. All right, we got the beast back home. Now it's time to put the mods on this thing. We got a lot of work to do to this thing pretty quickly. First mod we're gonna do, got some brand new takeoffs on some Carnivore 32s. These are the stock 30-inch, and there's a decent tire, but I'm really looking for just a little more ground clearance, and I wanted to be lock wheel for off-road. So first thing we're gonna do is swap out these front and rear. Yeah, buddy, switched out the voltage regulator. Got the new one installed. Just got to button up some of the wiring here. But I'm going to show you something. Ask Dave if we're good to go. 14.4 volts now. Holy cow. It has been a wild 2 days. And here's what I mean. We've been trying to get this Can-Am ready for the first debut, a quick shakedown of this thing. But we ran into a little snafu, let me tell you. We started it up, I'll just kind of get right to the point, and I noticed that we had a low voltage, a light came on. Left the dealership, everything was fine, got out of the trailer, battery light's on, voltage showing 10.9. Technician at the dealer calls me immediately, or I called the salesman, technician calls me, says, Barry, check all the wires by the voltage regulator. Make sure everything's good here. Okay, so I checked all the wires there, I checked by the battery, everything was fine. Looked in here, he goes, dude, I'm convinced it's your voltage regulator. He goes, I think that's what it is. He goes, but I need to get it back to look at it. And I'm like, man, I don't have time because I got to get this thing ready for Memorial Weekend, blah, blah, blah. I said, I have an idea. I said, can you guys call a local dealer by me and see if they've got one in stock? And could I just go get that? He goes, yep. He called, found one 5 minutes from our house. They have one in stock. They bought it for me. Can-Am, they're going to warranty it. Brought it home, sure enough, swapped out the voltage regulator. Boom, issue fixed, getting 14.4 volts. This is it, guys. Finally got this thing all completed. This has been a project. I pushed it too late, too close to Memorial Day. So we'll start right here with the wheels and tires. I found some factory 32-inch carnivores on, brand new carnivores on the factory beadlocks. I wanted to jump to the 32s versus the 30s, being that this thing is so long. I wanted the ground clearance, a little easier off-road. That was one thing I want to do. Next thing I want to do, fender flares. These things don't come with fender flares, and it's just wild to me that they don't, because without it, just everything gets coated nasty. So I looked at lots of different options, and these were the ones I kind of like the look of them. There's lots of great options. We'll see how they hold up, but I think they look pretty sharp. The front ones do. I'll put a link of everything I did, by the way, down in the description. So if you're interested in modding out your Can-Am, so you can kind of see what the products are. But anyhow, these are the XL versions, and I wanted as much coverage because I didn't want to put another flare on top of that. This is the matching rear ones. I don't think these look as cool, but they match-ish, and they got a ton of coverage. So when the time comes, I want to get some paddles and more offset, I am really covered. And I look all over this thing, and we just went and did a few miles down a dirt road, and I don't have anything down the side. Maybe a little, but hardly much. And considering the roads were wet, that's good. And I know they're working because we look underneath here, you can see the spray up. Okay, so both the fender flares, XL version. Next thing, I think these are the Kemimoto lower doors. I have to confirm, but I did the lower doors just so you can kind of see they match really well. The contours, how the instructions were pretty decent. I did look online. A few tricks that I saw when you install the rear. A bummer part is you do have to drill out this cover right here to get access to this one connection point right here. And then I did do the Kemimoto 4-seat cargo area. I wanted something for the boys, and then I put my spare belt right here too. So I got a spare here all dialed in. But the weather stripping, everything looks decent. Well, we'll see how it holds up. But the doors shut solid. The fronts, I did the same Kemimoto storage in the front. You got like a water bottle holder here, which is kind of nice, storage there, and a little knee protection. I also did, I think these are Kemimoto side mirrors, nothing too crazy. I didn't want to go too expensive. This is a 4-piece roof, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of it. I really am not. I don't think it looks that great. I don't like, you can see the individual sections, but I was in a time crunch and I just really wanted to have something. And the reviews for Kimimoto, this is not a Kimimoto, were no better. And this was 200 bucks less. Will it work? Probably. Is it the best? No. If I did it again, Can-Am BRP 2-piece, no question. It's been the extra money. I regret that. I should have just got it from the dealership. Okay, next thing. I did go with the Aces Racing harnesses, the 2-inch. Why? Because there's a great deal going right now, and they're half the price as the PRPs. I've ran the PRPs before, and in fact, I bought a set of PRPs to compare it, and man, they don't look much different. They just don't say PRP. They feel pretty decent. Get in the inside. See that right here? This is the one light mod I did add. I did add just a basic strobe. Kind of show you what it looks like. Put it on right now. You kind of see. Pretty decent. I kind of had to monkey around and fiddle around with the brackets up underneath the on the roof and the rear window. The next thing, so process. You do your front windshield, rear windshield, roof last. But before you do your roof, make sure you also do your strobe light, because you got to sneak your brackets and wiring through here. I can't remember which polycarbonate rear window I did. It's pretty decent. I didn't have any issues with the clasps. I did add a little bit of like some sort of isolating material in between the brackets here to kind of tighten it up and just make it a little bit better than stock. The one thing that kind of bumps me out is I wish this went down and covered this area. But my theory is, I'm wondering if they do that because this is the intercooler right here. You can see the intercooler. It might need air to kind of go over it to breathe. So that might be why they don't fully close that off. But, you know, I didn't cut any of the top roof to like fit the brackets. I just kind of set it on top because I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with this roof and try it or not. I'm still torn on that. Obviously, we got our ORV tags. Okay, now we get back inside here. I want to show you something here. Pretty cool little light here. I got 2 of these. They're really cheap, 13 bucks, one for up here and one back there for the boys. Factory mirror, didn't upgrade that. I did do the Kimimoto tablet holder, and then I am going to put a Samsung tablet in there. Otherwise, interior wise, you know, the bags, nothing crazy. The PRP harnesses, and then probably the most expensive mod. Oh, and then I did do that. This is a really cool, the quality of this thing feels really nice. This is a Kimimoto, I think they call it like turbo storage because the turbo is right behind here. This is a really nice hard case here for storage. I thought this would be good if you ever want to put tools in here. You can pull it off, little grab handle. That's probably the most impressive Kimimoto part. And then these bad boys. These are the Aces Racing. It's kind of like a junior seat. And the whole idea is, I think that they made these, they'll work with aftermarket seats and stock seats that you can put like young kids and stuff in. And I've been toying around, getting all the harnesses all set up, and it seems to be pretty decent. I mean, I've never used these before, but I talked to a lot of people and they were saying they're using these versus car seats, and our kids seem to fit in it pretty decent. So I'm going to run it and see how it works. The one thing I'll tell you is once you put these things in, you kind of got to, you need a 19 mil wrench or socket to get down into your bolt to your rear seat, and about a 18-inch long extension, 1/2 inch. That made life a lot easier getting into that back area for that bolt for the seat. You kind of got to monkey around pulling the seats in and out. The one thing I'd say about the Can-Am, and I've had, you know, BRP products and Polaris products, is that I do believe that Can-Am makes some really cool high-tech stuff. I mean, the suspension, this thing was so far ahead of its time when it came out. Polaris was really playing catch-up with the trailing arms, the suspension travel, this 900 Ace with 200 horsepower. It's a sick unit. And hey, wait a minute. I'm getting ADD here. Before I move forward, a friend of mine, our neighbor, he actually recommended this window to us, and I would have probably never went with this setup just because I didn't know anything about it. And so far I am really impressed. For the money, this thing looks sweet. This is tempered glass. This is a really nice setup. The downside, I will tell you guys right now, it will not come with hardware. No hardware for those 3 bolts, no hardware for the 4 clasps, and no hardware for the 6 bolts across the top. If you know that going into it, for the money, this is a bargain. This is a really good product, I think. And we're going to try it out here real shortly. But overall, what I'm excited to bring to you guys is there's like no information out there. And I had a really hard time finding information about the 2025 Can-Am Maverick X3 RS Turbo RR. Dude, it's a mouthful. I cannot believe the naming nomenclature. It's just ridiculous. But so Can-Am the brand, Maverick the series, X3 the generation, RS means 72 inches wide, Turbo RR means 200 horsepower. And actually now for 2025, they make the same exact version in 135 horse if you don't need more power. We're going to go to the dunes and stuff, so I think that we'll kind of appreciate having the Turbo RR. And the thing that I'm excited about this thing are these Showa shocks, man. Showa suspension in the dirt bike world is like incredible. And they went away from the Fox shocks, the QS3s on this version, to these Showa shocks. But man, you can just see these things look really legit. You can see the isolator down below looks nice. Kashima coated shock body. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's got still your high and low speed compression settings on the top. So I'm excited to see how these things are going to feel. And I'm going to let you guys know what I think about these mods. You know, how are they holding up? We got a lot of trails and stuff we're going to be doing here soon. But I'm excited. And I just kind of want to show you guys the coverage. You could see how far those fender flares go past the rear wheels. With that being said, we are kind of sitting a little bit high in the rear. I could probably take a little bit of preload out. But overall, I plan on kind of running this thing stock. I've been talking to a lot of guys. And yeah, there's some mods for the engine. You can still see the cat that's in there. But you know, I don't really care. I just want reliability. I'm going to start looking at some tuning from maybe like Whalen Tuning or some of the different companies out there and just see what you can do and keep it reliable. That's the key. I don't get a whole lot of times to use these things in a year. And when I do, I want reliability is key. That's number one for me. I do not want to be breaking down. So guys, I'm super pumped to be starting to bring UTV content to the channel. We've been doing off-road stuff, dirt bikes for a long time, and side-by-sides. We never really showed it. I'll be curious to see what you guys think. Leave your comments if you want to see more of this, less. Hey, I just want to help you guys out, especially for you people on the fence about wanting a 2025 Can-Am X3 Maverick RS Turbo RR. There's not a lot of information out there on this machine, and I want to try to bring this to you guys. But I think for the money, when you start looking at the options, this thing is a bargain with the rebates they got going on right now, because you can get a 2025 for the same price as a 2024. It's a no-brainer. And then you get, you know, some of the new colors and things of that nature. We got a dune trip coming here soon. I'm super pumped to show you guys how this thing's going to do, and we're going to have the RHO out there at the same time, and it's going to be fun kind of comparing. Dune season is among us, and we're super pumped to get the Bronco out versus the RHO, and we're going to do some Raptor versus RHO stuff in the dunes, as well as pushing the Maverick off-road. Hey guys, if you enjoy the video, feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.